Kia ora and g'day to our viewers across New Zealand and Australia. I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks very much for joining us. Well, we're tracking the remnants of what was ex-cyclone Seroja falling into the Southern Ocean and merging with a much bigger system down there, and it's creating quite a large storm. Now, the centre of that storm is going to be well offshore, both Australia and New Zealand, but it's so big it will brush by with a burst of wind, a burst of rain, and potentially a temperature drop later into the week as well. Currently, there's another low pressure system around New Zealand and a weak one to the north. This is producing a couple of thunderstorms as it moves up the west coast. So let's kick off with that windy weather. So 6 o'clock on Wednesday morning, or about a couple of hours before sunrise over here in Tasmania, we're seeing that storm down here. Now, unlike a cyclone, where all the winds are right at the centre here is actually quite calm, and the strong winds are further afield. That's them here in this purple-pink colouring moving into Tasmania. So that means wind gusts are anywhere between 100 and potentially 130 k's an hour, maybe even bigger than that, as it moves through on Wednesday. But as you can see, the rest of Australia just sort of on the outer edges of it, getting a bit of wind. And over in New Zealand, not yet there, but this system is moving along like that and will reach the South Island, bringing in some windy weather towards the end of the week. So this is how it looks on Wednesday. There's the storm, there's Tasmania on the edge of it, so you're getting the gales and the heavy showers or rain on the western side. In New Zealand, it's not too windy. In fact, we've got a weak low over the North Island, and coupled with daytime heating, could be a couple of isolated thunderstorms in the north, bringing those hit and miss downpours, and a new big high rolling in over Perth, where Cyclone Seroja made landfall a couple of days ago. Category 3 when it made landfall north of Perth. Now you've got a nice big beautiful high to calm things down. Let's take a look at Thursday, and we're seeing still that storm getting closer to New Zealand. Like I say, the centre's well south of us, so what you're going to find is windier weather moves on through, but probably nothing too alarming. Just be a bit blustery through the mountains, bit of rain on the west coast, and over in Tasmania, the cooler southwest change comes on through. So here's the rainfall for the next 3 days in New Zealand. This is from Tuesday morning through till Thursday, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, covered in this one. And you can see not much rain in the north, where you've got the green, blue and yellow, these colours here, only showing a couple of showers or 10 millimetres at the very most in yellow. So not a lot of rain coming, and very little for the east. In fact, maybe nothing coming in for places like Canterbury, or just a very brief shower. Hopefully we're wrong. Hopefully you do get a couple of extra showers in there, but the bulk of the rain over the next few days over on the west coast, with up to 60 or 70 millimetres over there. So Friday looks like this around New Zealand. The storm south of us, but we've got that cooler change on the back end of it. So a temperature drop in the south, pretty windy in a number of areas, and mostly dry in the north and the east of both islands, fairly settled across Australia. As we go into the weekend, there's an area of rain that starts to form between Brisbane and Sydney, maybe a couple of heavy falls just north of Sydney. In New Zealand, a colder southerly moves up around Hawke's Bay, bringing a little bit of wet weather for you. Not a lot, but a little bit comes through, with a temperature drop as well. By Sunday, that area of rain just near Sydney forming into a weak low. It's likely to merge with this system down here. This weather map's starting to look very much like we're in autumn. Big high pressure out to the east, another big one to the west, and in the middle, that's the area where you can see low pressure forming. So our final map for next Monday shows that low being sort of caught up in all of this huge pool of low pressure that goes right up to the tropics. So some places will have warm subtropical northerlies on Monday, others will have windy nor'westers, and then a bit later on into next week, in comes this cooler change for the South Island, and plenty of high pressure crossing Australia, heading eastwards as well. So to be honest with you, this weather map does look pretty normal for this time of the year. But one thing that is standing out, the warmer than average weather coming down into New Zealand at the moment, that is noticeable. Might change next week though, with a cool southerly, and there might even be a bit of a cooler change later this week in the south as well. That is all from me. To make more sense of that, please go to ruralweather.co.nz, and of course weatherwatch.co.nz. We'll see you again on Thursday. We're away on Wednesday, but we're back on Thursday.